said yes because I'm actually working in the mental health field. I'm in a doctoral program for clinical psychology.
Okay.
So anything mental health related is kind of my forte. So I'm willing to help out with anything regarding that.
Good. Are you familiar with dialectical behavioral therapy?
I am, yes. Yeah, well, with what I'm learning right now for my doctoral program, I think that what you're doing is excellent because it really gets yourself out there, and it's a form of like a therapeutic process for you. Assertive or anything.
Okay.
You went ahead and you touched my feet, you smelled my feet, you really got into how they felt, how they smell. You really got to know my feet. I wasn't uncomfortable, surprisingly. It was a new experience for me. I've never had that done to me before, but I wouldn't say it was creepy or anything. It wasn't unpleasant.
Was it pleasant?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
I like helping people out. I was curious to know what you were doing and like what your purpose of wanting to, look at my feet was. So
Yeah.
I was curious. I'm glad to be a part of like what your purpose of filming this was, and I think it was a good experience for me to change my perspective of a comment from a previous guy that was creepy about my feet to one that was more like enlightening and not creepy at all. So
you said something about feet.
Right. Right.
I guess we're going to talk about feet today.
Yeah, and mental health as well.
And mental health, which is so interesting because I happen to be a therapist.
You're a therapist.
Yes.
Excellent.
I'm a therapist.
Awesome. Are you familiar with dialectical behavioral
I'm
therapy?
actually trained and certified in CBT, which is the grandfather or the father of DBT. It's called exposure.
Exactly.
You have a great therapist.
Yes. Yes.
Let her know I said it.
Okay. So I decided instead of documenting by paper to create a YouTube channel.
Oh, yay, therapy.
Yeah.
CBT,
Yeah. And documented by video.
I love this. I love everything that you've said. I think the way that your therapist and you have found a way to turn something that could be seen as negative into something that's positive and productive and helping others. So I think that's what we can do with any challenge that we might have or something that we might think is weird or odd about us. The great thing is that we're all a little weird and we're supposed to embrace that. 2 weeks, so...
Yeah, they look very nice.
She would have caught me on a side, but what can we do?
I'm glad you're living in the moment.
I am also a person that struggled with anxiety in the past, and CBT and DBT also helped me heal my anxiety. So I know that when we have any sort of anxiety, it's sending us to the past or to the past where something bad happened, or the future where we think something bad is going to happen. So mindfulness just reminds us to just go with the flow, that there's an intelligence to the universe and that there's a flow, and it's beautiful. Because I was just taking my walk, and this has been an awesome experience. Yeah, I need to work on I think this is a message for me.
There you go.
I need to work on my YouTube.
There you go. Work on that YouTube.
Yeah.
And who knows, you have very nice feet.
Do I?
You shouldn't, whatever you do, integrate your feet into it. Serious.
Oh my God.
You should.
Time for an OnlyFans.
From beginning to end.
I loved it. It feels so awesome. So anyone who's looking to find ways to reduce their anxiety or whatever they're going through, I think being in the moment and finding ways to take whatever you're dealing with and turn it into something beautiful and helpful and purposeful, it's amazing. I'm here for it.
Okay. Excellent. Coming from a therapist, that's very good feedback. I really appreciate you for that. All right, well, thank you very much. So, do you have a therapist?
Yes,
You
and
do?
I am a therapist. First off, hats off to you for knowing all your DBT skills, your
Okay.
opposite action, emotion regulation. I think you doing a video about it is fantastic, and I commend you for taking this head on. And I think it's a great conversation starter about important topics. So I think there's a lot of relaxation that comes with it, with reflexology and all of that, so I see the benefits of it. I think media and fetishes and the way that those have been perceived is what kind of makes me cringe about it sometimes.
So, how did you and I get to this moment?
I guess you approached me.
Yeah, you're very soft-spoken, so I need you to
Oh, okay.
a little bit, because I got some speakers on here, but you're very soft-spoken. So, say again, how do we get together?
You approached me asking if I wanted to be a part of the video. And I was like, yeah, sure.
Okay.
I have time.
Awesome. So, what is the video about, this interview?
You're gonna ask me basically questions about my mental health and like my physical like approach. Yeah, I don't.
You forgot the second one?
Yeah.
It's your feet. Actually, that's the first thing I said. Your feet
Oh, okay.
and mental health.
Feet and mental health.
Yeah. All right.
Alright.
So I usually try to like say feet first, so it, like stands out. Like tries to like
Yeah.
All right. So what do you think about the subject matter?
Um, it's very different.
Mm-hmm.
When you stated feet, I questioned. Like I thought maybe it was like physical. Like, what do you think about your like stance or like how you walk? Are you confident enough?
Okay.
So yeah, it was very different. And yeah.
All right. So when you think of mental health, what comes to mind?
I guess for me, it's something I shy away from.
You shy away from mental
Yeah.
health? Why is that?
Coming from like a community where your mental health, although it's like very important,
Yeah.
it's not well talked about or like
Okay.
very supported, or you have someone to talk to, and yeah.
Okay.
So
Alright.
when it comes to mental health, I try not to like. I'm learning how to like to communicate with people, but
Yeah.
like, there's still it's a sensitive topic.
Okay. Have you ever had a therapist before?
I have not.
You have not?
Yeah.
Have you ever like wanted to seek a therapist?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I encourage people to seek therapy because
Yeah.
it's like going to the gym for your mind.
Yes.
People go to the gym. Everybody has no problem going to the gym physically, but going to a therapist, it's like going to the gym for your mind because you need to. Everyone has issues
Yes.
that they've dealt with, and they need to work those things out so they can have a healthy relationship with people and a healthy life in general.
Yeah.
And that's why I created this channel. As it relates to the feet, I'll get to that part in a minute. But my therapist actually inspired me to do this channel. She taught me something called DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy. Essentially, like let's say someone is suffering from anxiety or depression, like let's say like a fear of approaching strangers, meeting people.
Okay.
And so from that they get anxiety and depression because they have a hard time meeting friends and things. So DBT is all about emotion regulation. So they'll advise you to go out and actually meet people.
Okay.
Force yourself into that position where you're going to feel uncomfortable so that you can learn how to regulate your emotions. Okay? So when you start to feel anxiety or feel uncomfortable about situations, you ask yourself, okay, in this situation, what's the worst thing that could happen? So I can imagine it and be able to cope with it. And then you ask yourself, is there a threat to my life in this situation? Is there a threat to my health, safety? If not, you're supposed to especially act opposite against those emotions. Apply what they call opposite action and engage with the person and to imagine a positive outcome that's going to happen out of that situation. And that relates to mindfulness. Mindfulness is about living in the present moment, not thinking about negative, bad past experiences that may lead to depression, or thinking about this experience may be negative in the future, because that's what leads to anxiety. So live in the present moment and expect a positive outcome. And you can apply that to all aspects of life. That's what I figured out, and that's what gave me an idea about a good idea for a YouTube channel as it relates to feet. Now, have you heard about guys who are attracted to women's feet?
Yes.
You have?
I have.
And what do you think about those type of guys?
It's weird.
It's weird?
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, when it comes to like.
That's a common reaction.
Yeah.
That's a common reaction that women and men think that it's weird. And that's why I wanted to talk about this, because for me, to express that to a woman, I was hesitant about doing that because of people always think that's something that's weird or it might be negative, associated with stigmas that we have in society. So I wanted to do these interviews, and essentially what I'm doing is expressing DBT by opening myself up, self-expressing what I like, because I'm one of those guys that like women's feet, have attraction to women's feet. And so I do these interviews to get a wide reaction of perception and perspectives from women, so guys can be able to watch these videos and be able to cope ahead, and to see what happens when you get a positive reaction. So that's basically the concept of the YouTube channel. So what do you think about that?
It's great. I know it's very I know from like maybe like relatives or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's very difficult for men to like state with confidence what they like
Yeah.
or like what they're feeling. So it's great that your channel is like, you know, providing that like emotional like support for them.
Okay. Awesome. So, how do you feel about your feet in general?
Um, um I don't know.
Do you think they're pretty?
I never thought about this.
Really? Have you
Yeah.
ever had a compliment from a guy saying you have pretty feet or cute feet?
No.
No? Well, how often do you wear like open-toe shoes, like sandals and things
Yeah,
like
I
that?
don't.
Okay, you don't wear it that often?
No.
Even to the beach? You ever go to the
Yeah,
beach?
I tend to dig my feet in the
Really?
sand.
You're
Yeah.
self-conscious about your
Yeah,
feet?
I think so. Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. I've never had that confidence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you like to have more confidence about yourself as it relates to your feet?
I think so.
You do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we try a little exercise?
I have to head to class.
You do? Do you have like 5 more minutes? Wouldn't
I can
take
do
that
3.
long. 3 minutes?
Yeah.
All right. Can you take your shoes and socks off so we can look at your feet and I can give you some compliments about what I like about your feet?
No.
You don't want to do that?
No.
Why not?
Yeah. I wouldn't do that to like. I wouldn't show my feet to a stranger.
You wouldn't show your feet to a stranger?
Yeah.
What's the worst thing that can happen?
I don't know. I wouldn't. Yeah, I just wouldn't.
All right. Well, think about that. Like, think about like what's the worst thing that could happen after this interview? Think about like what's the worst thing that could happen for me showing my feet to a stranger, you know, and how would I cope with that situation? Okay, so that would be like an exercise of DBT of like, you don't want to do it, but ask yourself, okay, what's the worst that can happen? Because the whole point of DBT is to get the most out of life. And I'm saying like, you know, I want to help you get more confidence about your feet so you can have, you know, better confidence about yourself. So just think about that.
Okay.
All right, so wrapping things up, what did you think about this interview and this experience?
It's a very interesting talk.
Uh-huh.
But it made me reflect on like how like small like things about one can like bring like a very it brings you to like how would I explain this? I've never thought about my feet, but now talking about it, it's like I don't have that much confidence.
Yeah,
like,
you know you're
within-
self-conscious about your feet. You don't have that much confidence.
Yeah.
But it's something that you may want to change.
Mm-hmm.
This would be maybe an avenue to do that. All right.
Yeah.
So is there anything about the interview that could have been better? Do you have any critiques or suggestions?
No, everything's fine.
Everything's fine?
Yeah.
All right, then. Well, thank you very much. Any parting
Thank you.
words?
No.
No? All right. Well, take care. All right. Thank you.